Hello and welcome back, everybody, to Let's Play 35 plus years of Advanced Squad Leader. As always, I'm your host, Jabbo Fett, and it is the Monday after Christmas. It is the last stream I will likely do of 2025, so I feel like it's probably best to open with thank you, everybody, for watching along and commenting and paying some attention to this huge project that has been ongoing since 2020 2019. I forget when I started this. I don't know if that's a bad sign or not. um, and I am quickly approaching 5% on total games, total unique scenarios played, which is also got me giddy at least a little bit. So today's scenario, I'm not 100% sure. 2021 apparently. Wow, 2021. I would have thought for sure it was 2020. Either way, um, I am doing a solo night tonight. I don't know if Rob is around. I'm pretty sure he's not. And I didn't want to take the chance. I got stuff I want to do. So all to say that I wanted to get this stream done. It's a very short stream. I was just perusing some files and I noticed a 3v3 vehicle scenario. I thought that was kind of crazy, so I wanted to see what it was. And lo and behold, this scenario is BB-27.1 Gunner Armor Piercing. Now, Gunner Armor Piercing, or BB-27, however you want to look at it, is a scenario from Coastal Fortress Gaming. So we've already shown some of their scenarios on streams. I believe one of them was a funky scenario involving bees or simulated bees slash wasps in East Africa with Germans versus British, I think. Uh, yeah, I think it was a World War One scenario or somewhere around there. Anyways, pretty interesting stuff. This one is interesting in some ways. We'll get to those shortly, but we'll just have to see just how well this turns out. Now, why do I say that? Uh, Obviously, 3 units per side. It makes for a tiny scenario. Even though there are 6 turns, unless you are really desiring playing this in the slowly, in the most painfully slow way possible. I can't imagine that you wouldn't get this scenario over and done with in an hour, maybe 30 minutes. And obviously, playing face to face, it's a little bit different when you are not doing so. One thing I should also point out, and I don't know if this is an error, if this isn't just isn't written anywhere. I'm going to have to place this. In fact, there might be. I don't know if that's a graphical error. Well, I'm going to have to make one change to this scenario because of how it looks both on the scenario archive and both in the actual scenario card. So this scenario apparently portrays the grain as not existing despite it being or I guess, yeah, sorry, it's 29 May. I keep thinking it's June. So grain is not in effect, and that was messing with me because I remember seeing this. I thought this was close to the Junes. Anyways, so that's resolved, which means that you're not going to have any hindrance. It's really just whichever tank kind of exposes itself first might just blow up, and we're going to have to see how true that is. Um, so the only particulars of this scenario are that the Germans have 2 armored leaders. I'm going to try and make it random, so I'm not just choosing, who has what, and stack the deck here. The French have 3 FCM 36s. The differences really between the 2 tanks is that the Germans have some nice mobility, 5 movement points more, which isn't a whole lot, but it is more, and that's always useful. They have a 37 millimeter gun just regular size compared to the French 37 short. And while the French have a distinct armor advantage, both on frontal and side armor, they don't have any real machine gun support. And critically, they have an AP-10, which isn't terrible. It's way better than average. But if you end up rolling an 11 or 12 or even 10 on your AP shots, it is possible to just simply have no more ammo. Other big thing too is that the French have to move as a convoy, or not convoy, but patrol. There, they have the formation movement, which is really inconvenient. Lastly, the other important thing here is that while both sides have an ELR of 3, there are no SANs on board. No snipers will be active for this scenario. The Germans come in anywhere on turn 1 on the north edge, which is a huge playing field. Not quite sure why they get the entirety of the north, whereas the French enter on the entire east side of the board. Again, not quite sure why the French are east and not south, or why the Germans get the entire board versus anything else. The side that starts first is based on a dice roll. It will be the French that move first. That'll probably be their biggest advantage here. And the victory conditions for this scenario are that the side with the most CBP wins. So by the end of turn 6, we should have a winner. But honestly, yeah, we'll just have to see. Another big thing too is that the French tanks here are a single man turret. These are particularly bad, if only because if they ever get stunned, I believe they're auto recalled. They do not get a second chance on recall. Let me just double check here. Does this show? Yeah, one man turret. So it should be D1.322. And if we go there, I believe it'll just straight up say it. So yeah, if you have a thick, large white square with no corners, it's a one-man turret AFV. So you have a ST type turret, so slow, or slow restricted, or whatever it is. Actually, it's just slow turret, whatever. Restricted, I believe, is RST. But what's important is that the one-man turret can't shoot its MA or CMG while they are crew exposed, and if they are stunned, they are automatically recalled. This can be a benefit because a recall does not constitute CVP loss. However, recall is also just bad because you're out of the game. So because the French won the coin flip, essentially, we're going to go into this real quick. What do I want the French doing here? Now, 9 movement is absolutely terrible. So let's try to... Let's platoon movement, try to get up this road, and maybe I can either get to use this wall. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, I am on road, so it is half. Yeah, okay. I think if I can try and get this wall, I'll be fine. Quote unquote final words. The best is if I could get into this entire walled area. Granted, the Germans get to come in from anywhere on the north, so they can circumvent it by coming in on the right. But it's kind of best option here. So let's see what we get. So no rally phase, or actually there is weather, no change. It should be noted that there's a mild breeze from the northwest, so from top left to southeast. It's not currently affecting anything, but you never know. So half, 1, 1 half, 2, 2 half, 3, 3 half, 4, 4 half, 5. And then I guess I'll just start open ground at that point. So I'm here for 5. So let's do... Yeah, I think I need to just do that. 6, 7, 8, then stop. So 6, 7, then 8, and then we'll stop. As I stop, they'll all button up and have this guy's turret pointed that way. Your turret's going to be pointed that way. And you can be pointed this way. I think this makes the most sense. There's no actions that can be done afterwards. So we'll go to German turn 1. Weather, no change. Now, big thing here is going to be where do I want to put the German forces? I could probably just shuffle all this over. Now that I've got guys placed here. So obviously, I think it's more fun if the Germans just kind of try and rush it. Actually, shoot. I could simply drive up to the wall. I can also split them because I don't need to observe platoon movement with them. So how do I want to do this is a very important question. I think tank here. I could do 2 tanks and just get to shooting, which would probably be the most fun. I'm actually curious. I don't think I started a log file. I did not. I really gotta get better about that. Let's get a log file going here. There we go. If I look at 2 hits, short's not really gonna matter until you get to 13 hexes in range. Excuse me, which I don't think is going to matter. 2 kill is going to be important though. So a 37 short is 7 to kill, and a 37 is 8. Yeah, okay. So essentially both guys are having effects on 3s. Both, or 4s, sorry. Both people need hits and then 2 kills of 4. This is reduced based on distance. Yeah, okay. So essentially, also a big thing here too is that the French tanks don't have rate of fire, which might not come up. Period. However, if it does come up, it is rather important. I think let's do this. This is just more fun. We'll go the long route. Um, yeah, we'll just do that. I think that's just more fun overall, and we'll see what that leads to. I could probably zoom in even more. And then once I get on board, it won't matter. All right, cool. So again, Germans, they rolled weather, nothing happened. There's no prep fire. They have to go to movement. We'll have tank 1 move into M10 for 1, 2, and then into M8 for 3. Stop delay for the entirety of it, the rest of its move. There's no sense really waiting. So tank in M6 is going to take a shot. That is going to be a hit because it's a turret hit. 2 kill will not be enough. They did not get rate of fire because they do not have that. If I look at numbers here, so first and foremost, the tank was moving, etc., but crucially, it was a turret hit because otherwise it has the wall advantage, or the wall's benefit, and is thus hull down. But the 2 kill being an 8, so that is their 2 kill of 7 is increased to an 8 because of distance with a 37mm gun. However, the 3 armor of the front of the turret pushes the 8 to an 11, which means nothing will happen. I did not suffer any effects, so I'm not going to roll on who the armor leaders are attached to. We'll go to the next tank. 1, 2, 3, and then 4. I should mark them. So he gets to L8 for 4, stops, delays for the rest. Nobody's going to take a shot at him just because. I don't think it's quite necessary yet. I actually don't know if this tank can see M8, so that's going to be fun to discover. I don't think it can because of this tiny corner, but we'll have to see. This tank could potentially turn and take a shot, but yeah, we're going for fun thing here. So third tank is going to come from off board. B10 for 1, B9 for 2, and then C9 for 3. What's the distance on this anyways? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Alright, well, it wouldn't even matter. I can't even get 13 range. So I'm going to get to C9 and then stop. I'm going to have tank in K6 is going to take a shot, because why not? The tank is moving, plus is small, plus the small, or the button up, which is going to be a +4, ignoring anything else, which there shouldn't be anything else, if I recall correctly. So it's just going to have missed its shot. I do need to start putting acquisitions as well. You can get linked. Cool. You're going to get linked with this. And then tank in L5 is going to make its the same attempt. That should be a hit. Again, no what's the word I'm looking for? Rate of fire because of the type of vehicle. So with this shot, it is a, what are we looking at? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 9 range. 2 hit on 9 range is 9 is needed. There is a +2 for having moved, +1 for button up, +1 for hindrance, and +1 for small size. It brings that 4 to a 9, or sorry, that 3 to an 8, which is enough to hit, 2 kill. Oh, also I need to have been marking that nobody has made a 2 hit over 10. Cool. So nobody's run out of AP. Now this could, so there's no plus here, which means, and this is a turret shot, which doesn't really mean anything. It's still 3 armor from the front. That is going to equal the 37 short. I don't believe there is any other modifier, so that tank is going to suffer a shock, which sucks, but is not the end of the world. There we go. So they are shocked. That's a bit of a bummer, but so them's the breaks. We go to defensive fire phase. Everybody's shot. I don't really want to try for any sort of intensive fire option, just because I'm a little worried that I would just immediately blow up some guns. So we'll go to advanced fire phase. In the advanced fire phase, tank in M8 is going to take a shot at the guy in M6 who's now exposed, because he does not receive the wall benefit. I am going to, at this time, make a roll to see if he gets a leader. So this is going to be, because it's going to apply on the shot, if he exists or not. So on a 1 or a 2, he gets the 9-1. On a 3 or a 4, he gets the 8-1. On a 5 or 6, he gets nothing. So he gets the 8-1 attached to him. So he gets an 8-1. We're going to generate this thing right now. And then 2 hits. So the tank has moved. What are my... So bounding fire, which is always case B, plus. Now it's just a regular turret, so it should be +4. This is +5 on top because of it being button up, and then +6 because of their small stature. Leader that's attached is going to reduce that, so it's a +5. 6, or sorry, 7 +5, 12. Nothing happens. No rate of fire. He is just spent. Um, then tank in L8 is going to try the same thing against K6. They are going to get black counter, whatever. Same deal here. I'm going to roll 1, 2, 3. It's the 9-1 on a 4-5-6. The 9-1 is now on C9. Tank is my actual good leader is, or actual good leader. My first best leader is now on the shot guy. So L8 takes the shot. That should be a hit. That's also multiple hits because of, I don't think multiple hits matters what the phase is. So again, the same thing here. It's going to be +4 for having moved, and then +1 for button up, +1 for small size. That should be a +6 overall. That's still 10. That's still within the necessity or the necessary to hit numbers. So I'm gonna roll two kills. That is going to be. I hit the hull as well, which. Oh right. That's a side hit. Is that a side hit? That's a side hit. So instead of 4, that's a 3. That sucks. That might actually be a kill because of that. So, okay, what do we got here? 37. 37 is an 8. The range is 3. I don't get a bonus for 3 range. Good for the French. Um, I rolled a 4. Well, I rolled a 5 and then a 4. You take best. I guess technically you can choose whichever. That's actually a really good question. I don't know if you can. I don't know how multiple hits works on. Do you have to pick the best result? I'm very curious now. Multiple hits. C3.8. If you get a non-critical by rolling original doubles, the vehicle or infantry target type, you get 2 hits instead of 1. You only use one of the 2. Fire is choice. So there's a world where you could pick the quote unquote worst option for a specific effect. Now, why this is potentially important. So in a scenario such as this, where so there's 3 side armor for this vehicle, which means that the shot goes. I either have an 8 or a 7. An 8 would I guess yeah, it would immobilize because it's hull, which I don't want to do. So I would rather get the 4 into a 7, which would kill. So that's very, very important because if I was looking to immobilize for movement, I would choose the worst result and guarantee that they're knocked out. Or yeah, I guess either way they're dead. But I guess I hope you can see the point is that you can choose for like a shock so that they're forced to retreat and not get units through versus potentially going for crew survival. That'd probably be another way to look at it. There's no rule for voluntarily abandonment is not allowed, but either way, I'm going to choose to blow up this tank. So this tank is now gone. So this tank is eliminated. This guy is prep fired. This counter moves there. I'm going to copy this so I can make a clone. The crew survival is 2. They did not get it, which I think is fairly obvious that would happen. Okay. That's bad. Let's get a counter here to check our numbers. I'm just gonna drop this little, and then CVP and CVP. So the French are at 5. They may potentially lose more because of that guy. Routes, no routes. Advances, no advances. Unless I wanted to, if I wanted to crew expose, which isn't a bad idea. I might crew expose these guys specifically because I want to not be penalized for the +1. I think it's a long shot that really affects anybody, but probably my only bet at this point to not take those penalties. So I'm just gonna go with it. We'll see. We'll go to turn 2 for the French. Um, yeah, I think not to be too pessimistic, but this scenario may be in danger of a German victory here. We go to rally phase for the French. Nobody has to do anything except for the shock. They roll and they are flipped, so they are unknown kill at the moment. Again, this is really bad. This is a coin flip. If they lose, the Germans lose 7 points because you count the leader. Pretty sure you count 7 and not 6. But that is actually a really good thing to try and remember. So while I start looking at that, we're going to go to prep fire phase. I have no reason not to keep shooting. So I'm going to have tank because if I don't shoot, I can move, but I don't really. The problem is I'm stopped, so I would need to start, and that doesn't really give me a lot to do. I guess technically I could try and jump over the wall, but again, if I get blown up on motion attempt, it's kind of game over anyways because it'll be 2 tanks to nothing. Um, Turns out I probably should have hit on, yeah, I think M5L4 would have been a way smarter decision. Maybe just have N5 and just sacrifice, like, even if he's in the open. I think I was too worried that these hedges would be just too protective, but maybe I'm just silly. Um, yeah. Oh, I don't think I was counting that, and it doesn't matter because it never mattered anyways. Yeah. Anyways, I'm gonna go with being aggressive here, and we'll see if this pays off. Um, that is a hull hit, which will mean absolutely nothing. They get no extra shot. They are just spent. Tank in L5 is going to attempt a shot at M8. It's probably not going to work. It's definitely not going to work. I also don't have line of sight, so they turn their turret and then realize nothing can happen. That goes away, and then this is just going to go there. And then that's probably GG. Oh man. Okay, let's see what happens here. Moving phase, nobody can move. There's nobody to move. Defensive fire phase, tank in M8 is going to take a shot, so it literally doesn't matter. They are crew exposed. The only modifier is a +1 from size, and then that is negated by acquisition. Gets flipped over. I don't have rate of fire, but I do have multiple hits again. I will roll twice. Both of them are bad, which is not good. Um, Again, the 2 kill is not modified because of distance. Um, we go from a 7 to a 10 and a 10 to a 13. Neither of those will do anything, which is very unfortunate. And then tank in L8 is going to turn and shoot. That is, oops, not what I wanted. I wanted that. We're going to double check. Math works out. So turning, they are not in woods, so that is a +1, I believe, because they aren't slow turret. I don't think. Hopefully, I'm not wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure they're not slow turret. They don't have a leader benefit, so it's just +1 for the hex change or covered arc change. +1 for size. That's it. So +2 doesn't will not impede that from hitting. It's another multiple hits, which is kind of crazy. They've got that so many times. First is a 6 going to a 9, and the other is an 8 going to an 11. Again, because these guys are side profile. Because, again, I really should have put them on the side there. So, yeah, 6 to a 9 is going to be 1 over the final 2 kill on a direct fire on um, yeah, on a non-HE, which means possible shock. Let me just make sure I've got this right. I think that's correct. Okay, so let me see. Do I see... Yeah, I think they just count as normal for VP purposes. I don't see anything here at the moment, and I could just be blind. Yeah, I don't see anything at the moment. I'm going to assume they count as normal leaders, but I do need to check for possible shock. Pretty sure it's just against morale check, but I do need to make sure that it's not, there's not anything specific for it. Yeah, okay. So, yeah, such takes a normal task check, normal task check. They do not fail it because I believe their morale is 7. Let me double check here. French counters, squads. Yeah, okay, yeah. They're good. Oh, that is true that French vehicles are red numbers. Doesn't matter. So he's first fired. Again, I don't really care for intensive at the moment. Not that I really can because I'm pretty sure you can't intensive in the same phase. I could be wrong on there. I don't really care. We're going to go to advanced fire phase. They can't. Routes none. Advances none. CC none. We are done with French turn 2. We go to German turn 2. Weather, no change. Rally phase, coin flip. They are eliminated. Crew survival is a 4. They do not make it. That is one hell of a way to go. So that will be 7 points because the leader counts with. How many times has this happened? Where the tank does nothing. It doesn't matter. I'm gonna have him like this. Wreck. Cool. That's it for rally phase. We go to prep fire. I'm gonna have the tank. It doesn't really matter. So L8, you shoot first. That's a hit. That is going to be side hit. It's going to be 7. That is going to kill. This tank now gets to crew survival. Doesn't make it. It will be cloned or be clowned. It is made into a wreck, and this guy gets a prep fire counter. Now I do have a choice at this point. I don't know why these aren't linked. You should be linked. And you should be linked. Yeah, I guess if I want to be greedy, so I'm going to go to movement phase. I'm going to have this tank start for 1, turn for 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. He's going to declare motion attempt. 12. Stop 13, 14. Yeah, it doesn't really matter how he's pointed. I don't think you can shoot in the same turn you motion attempt. That might be a fib, I'm telling. That's so weird. It does not look like it's linked properly. Yeah, so that's it for movement. Defensive fire phase. I may be able to shoot now. That is a restricted turret. You know what? No, because I would need to turn twice on a single man turret. So ST type. It is 2 hexes, so it's already a +3. He's in motion, which means he gets massive 2-hit penalties. So he's just not gonna get anything. I would have needed like Snake Eyes slash like maybe up to a 4, but didn't get it. On the other hand, the tank that is now adjacent is going to take a shot. That is absolutely going to be a miss. Actually, is that going to be a miss? So they do have the armor leader. So no, there's +4 or yeah, there's +4 no matter what. I can get that down. Oh, he's motion, so yeah, that doesn't yeah, it just doesn't happen. So nothing happens except for this goes there and flips to 1. We go to advanced phase, nothing happens. Go to CC phase, nothing happens. I need to mark this as 10. We go to French turn 3. We go to French turn 3, and he's not on line. All right, cool. Sorry, I needed to check and make sure I was not ignoring Rob. So we go to turn 3 for the French. Weather, no change. Rapid fire phase, none. I'm going to try and like drive over the wall and maybe get to use its defensive properties. Like, I don't really know what else to choose at this point. I think that's the only thing for me to do. Yeah, I think that's the only thing for me to do. So I'm going to. He's now in motion. He's going to pay 2 to go over the wall. Oh, right. Shoot. He has to task. He doesn't get to move. I should just shot. I forgot about platoon movement rules. So he doesn't get to do anything. We go to defensive tank, point blank shot, essentially. That is going to be a hit. No effect. Actually, is that no effect? Should be no effect. It's like +4 for armor, and then nothing else. I didn't get rate, and I did not get um, multiple hits. So that happens. I don't actually know because they tried to move, so I don't know if they even get to shoot. They might get to shoot. We'll say they do because otherwise it seems kind of silly. They get the +4 for advanced fire phase. +1 for being button up. +1 for small size. And then down 2. So no matter what, it should be a hit. I have not been checking for AP. That doesn't matter. That's just not going to do anything. And he gets an acquisition. Okay. Routes none. Advances none. CC none. We go to German turn 3. Weather, no change. Rally phase, nothing happens. Prep fire, tank in K5 shoots adjacent. That is absolutely a hit. It is still not rate. I still don't get any. I still don't get a kill from that. We go to movement phase. In the movement phase, tank in L8 is going to start for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Stop for 10, delay 14. That's it. We'll just move his acquisition there. Defensive fire phase, tank against tank. It is not expending their AP just yet, but that is a hit. I can't imagine it not being a hit, is essentially what it happens. Um, the 2 kill for a 37 short is increased by 1 to an 8. Armor is 3. It's going to be enough for a kill, which is really unfortunate. Crew survival. Did not make it. We clone this. We take these guys. This guy is a wreck. That goes away. Oops. There we go. That's another 7 points. Okay. And then Advanced Fire Phase, Tank, Shoot. That is going to be a hit by the barest of margins. So the reason why it's a hit is it's a +4, but then it's a down 2. So there's no button up penalty. And the tanks just exists in front of it. Yeah, it's a +4 for having moved and advanced fire phase. It's a down 2 for point blank range. And then that's it. There's no... Oh, size. Never mind. It will not be a hit. Unfortunately, because of size. Yeah, pretty sure. Pretty sure it's not. That's a bummer. Alright. Routes none, advances none, CC none. We go to turn 4 for the French. It is now gusting. That is not going to matter. Prep fire phase. Tank is going to turn its turret. Well, I'm just going to say twice. It no longer has AP and misses. So it no longer has AP. I will say it only turned twice because turning 3 times is just... Why try to incur the extra +1? So yeah, it is a miss because of the amount of times turning the covered arc. Otherwise, if it was just a straight shot, it would be a hit. No, it'd still be a miss because point blank range and size plus button up. So it'd be +2 down 2. So yeah, it missed. It no longer has AP, which means it's now shooting 37 HE, which is armored to kill is 4. So essentially it has, or slightly better than half, its AP to kill number, which is terrible. We go to Germans. Germans will just take point blank shots. They will hit. It is not multiple hits. That 6 goes to a 9. It's on hull, which I believe is going to be another... is that going to be another... No, wait. That's front hull, so that's a 4. I believe that is a 4 because I hit hull. Because armor rating can sometimes be confusing. Yeah, so it's front hull slash front turrets, whereas the lower number is side and rear. But because the tank is facing me, that is front hull, which is 4. So, so yeah, so my 2 kill number goes up by 1. So instead of an 8, it's a 9. But the 2 kill is 6, which goes up to a 10. Which then we get the exact same thing as last time. Potential shock, normal task check, they pass it. That is it for defensive. Pretty sure this guy, that's the second shot. Advanced fire phase, none. Routes, advances, blah. Turn 4, Germans. Weather check, nothing. We go to prep fire phase, take a shot. Multiple hits, definitely a hit. The second shot is against hull, but hull is 4, and the 2 kill number goes to a 9. That will be a kill. We have crew survival. Crew survives, interestingly. This is actually... Oh, yeah, that sucks. Okay, so I need a 127 guy. This goes away. They get 3 points. This becomes a wreck. And the crew, are they considered TI? This is going to be very important, actually. Does crew survival count as TI? Because now that tank gets to shoot at them and essentially gets to hound them for the rest of the game. And they will most likely die, but you never know. So crew survival, what are they? Are they marked? And is subject, yeah, subject to hazardous movement, which is -2, I believe. Do I have a counter for that? Infantry, hazardous movement. So hazardous movement consists of a -2. This tank, which is pointing at them, is now going to shoot 16 firepower, down 1. 8 on 16 is a 1 morale check. They are absolutely broken. Um, yeah, wow. Okay, so that's it for prep. Movement, nothing. I didn't have rate of fire on the 2 hits. Defensive, nothing. Advance. We go to route phase. So in the route phase, these guys have to go to the nearest... What's the nearest one that they can go to that doesn't get them shot? So, I guess technically... So this would be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So they have to go to that one. And because, yeah, okay, so they route to K6, then K7. These provide TEM, so they're allowed to do this. Once they get into K7, this is blocking view. They get to K8, and then K9 for 5. There's no advance. I guess technically I would have seen them here. So this will then go to them. And I believe they have to turn their turrets. I'm not 100% sure. Not that that's going to matter, because French turn 5, weather, no change, and this goes away, and this goes away. And then they self-rally, nothing happens. Prep fire, nothing happens, no movement, no defense, no nothing, because they are broken. The Germans can't do anything because they're blocked. They're just... line of sight is screwed. Yeah, their line of sight is just screwed. So we go to German turn, no weather. Rally, they don't make it. No prep, we go to movement. They start for 1, turn for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This will re-DM. What's the most effective way? Um, so I'm at 6 movement. I need to make sure I can maximize them routing away. I think I just need to keep it... Um, Yeah, so 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Stop for 12, delay. No defensive fire can happen. We go to advanced fire phase. I'm going to have main cannon is going to shoot. It's going to be a hit because it's point blank. It's +4 to a 10, but then down 2 for point blank range. I think woods might save them, and I don't get the benefit of rate of fire, so it'll just be that. But I will take the uh, 8 firepower shot against them, so 8 up 1. 10 on 8 isn't going to do anything. I am hilariously running out of time on this. Routes. This guy has to route. His only safe route path is to L10. So he routes to L10. Yeah, he routes to L10. I can't shoot at him. I don't think I can see... Yeah, I can't see L10 if I did it properly. I can't see L10. So we go to advanced phase, CC, nothing happens. It's French turn 6, no weather change. Rally does not happen because that is a 5 to a 9 down to an 8. Or actually, it stays to a 9 because of self-rally attempt. Um, Nothing can happen on the turn because they are effectively invisible or not seen by the German tank. Weather for German turn 6 is nothing different. They don't self rally again, and that will cause them to lose or guaranteed loss because we go to movement phase. They start for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Turn gun. Stop for 7, delay. These guys are DM'd. I don't even need to shoot because this guy must route, but he can't go anywhere that is not adjacent. He would also be interdicted, but the most important part is that he can't route away, so he is eliminated for failure to route. Instantly eliminated, giving the Germans 2 CVP and GG. Surprisingly close. I can see how it's very deceptive for the French tanks to get a victory. It really feels like the French player has to be lucky, or the German player has to make a lot of mistakes. And in this case, I think I made one mistake, just trying to get too close because I could just fight them at a distance. There's no real need for the German tanks to get real close. I think the real big thing is that you can't lose. You should not, or you have to really not lose a tank with a leader in it. Once you start, if you lose a tank with a leader in it, that's you need to start really fighting for it. So on that side of things, I like that design. I like that design style because, again, you have a nice advantage as the Germans. But if you ever find yourself unlucky, then you really need to start taking risks to make up for it. I should have played it a little bit better by having the French tanks still on the road. I don't know if there's a perfect answer for that, to be honest, because the Germans can enter from anywhere, so you can really just take your advantage. A plowed field is no different from grain, which means that your cost of movement is still 1 going through it with fighting vehicles. The real big benefit of the Germans is you get to split up your troops as well, so you don't necessarily need to fight from one side. And the biggest advantage from that, to be completely honest, is you get to divide the attention of the French tanks, and more importantly, you get to divide their armor factors. Because the side armor is slightly weaker, it's fine for you to try and snipe at a distance. Um, try to go for those multiple hits. You try to get rate of fire and hit on side armor so that you have that extra benefit. But like nothing stops the German player from being in Z4 and trying to snipe into M6. It might be a little silly, but you have the advantage of that regular gun versus small. This is still 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay, yeah. So if the French player is trying to use the stone wall, being here in the hedge actually serves a real big benefit. I don't think the French player, I don't think the German player should ever just let the French have the wall realistically, just because of that benefit of hull down. But yeah, strict scenario, I don't know if it's necessarily. I think it's a little imbalanced. It's definitely German favored. However, I don't really know um, how I would fix that. I think the best way to look at it is if you were to try and fix this scenario, big quotation mark fix, you would fundamentally have to change what vehicles the French get, is probably how it would go. And if you're having to do that, you're already sacrificing the premise of the scenario. I don't know if there's realistically a way for you to do that. But all that said, it's a nice scenario. Like I said, you can play this in an hour. I was obviously playing just against myself, but I'm looking at rules. I'm trying to pay attention to chat where I can. Not that chat's ever super active, but point being is that I can be distracted and do this in an hour. If you have two people who are just trying to learn AFV combat, you just want a tiny scenario to just, shits and giggles or beer and pretzel. This is fine. It's a fine scenario. I don't think it deserves a 5.6 on the ASL scenario archive. Um, but yeah, I think if the French get lucky, it's an even more fun experience as the French. Otherwise, it's a nice little uphill battle, and the Germans are favored to win, and probably the side that has the least experience should be the one using them. So, with all that said, thank you for watching. I hope everybody has had a lovely 2025. I've already talked at length over past streams. Thank you once and always to the many people who either watch this live or otherwise. Thank you to Rob and Rootin' Putin for both being my consistent and regular gaming partners. Um, while this is 2025, I started in 2021, so what is this, year 5? um, it has been a very long road to get here. uh, I can never thank people enough who have participated, whether in the past from 2021 all the way to now. I really cannot stress how much fun I have had doing this, um, and how much love I have for ASL. I think is really what it comes down to it. I am I can only hope that as I grow older, I will forever be able to close the gap towards towards the 8,000 scenarios. There's a lot of doubles and triples in there, but there's a lot of scenarios to get through, and I really appreciate everybody who's been on this journey with me, whether playing or watching slash participating. Thank you. I hope you all have a great end to 2025, and I hope to see you all in 2026, starting this Saturday, unless there's some issue. Rutin and I will be getting back to Green Hell of Enor with day 4 out of 7, I think. I could be wrong on the total number of scenario dates. It might actually be 9 or 8. Anyways, we'll be back to that, which will be a lot of fun. We got some purchases to do and some squaring away to be done. And next Monday, if fingers crossed all goes well, Rob and I will be starting Denant, the MMP French versus German historical campaign on the Sudan. So I hope everybody looks forward to that. And until then, bye.